Aboye. Listen, unity is not the goal. I'm going to repeat that. Unity is not the goal. And I know that runs counter to most of our social programming and just something that seems right in our spirit that we're compelled to come together, especially when you find like-minded people and like-minded groups of people. It seems natural to want to gravitate towards those those people who you have an affinity for. But I'm going to tell you that the worst thing that you could do, the worst experiences you have will result from bringing a whole bunch of random people together without a plan. Even if the people wear the same kind of hat and the same kind of little jewelry. If you don't have a plan, that's going to degenerate into chaos, lickety split. Okay? This is the School of Orisha Studies, and I'm your instructor, Obafemi Origunwa. I'm going to tell you something that I know for sure as from being a school teacher. I love teaching, and I love teaching little people all the way up to big people, right? So I've taught preschool, and preschool is actually my favorite. 3, 4 year old, man, it's great. You know what I mean? When they say a barrel of monkeys, my goodness, it's the most fun, but you can get the most instruction in with that group of people, if you have a plan. Okay, but the worst thing you want to do is get a room full of 21 children, 3 and 4 years old, and not have a plan. Mm, mm, mm. Those little angels are going to take you to the far reaches of your understanding of what it means to be a human being. They're going to just flip you every which way. You might manage to, get them in the room. You might manage to get them in their seats or sitting, on the rug in the circle, maybe. But there will be no forward progress. They won't stay there for more than 3 minutes max if you don't have a plan. Okay? Now, this matters to us as practitioners of Orisha lifestyle because I remember 1999 vividly. It was, the beginning of the internet experience, right? We had Orisha List, and then the bigger one was when the Yahoo groups hit. Wow. I mean, this was the first time in like 300, 400 years that all the members of the family tree had converged for this big virtual family reunion. The Cubans were there. The Nigerians were there. Some of the other, like the Togolese and the Beninois, they were there. The Venezuelans were there. The African Americans were there. And it was chaos. It was chaos. Every day there were these flame wars, man. People would just be battling constantly about every imaginable detail, okay? And when I look back upon it, I say, I guess there was no way for the elders to prepare for that kind of a convergence. It's just, it's just uncanny. It's very special, very unique. But today, I still hear these arguments from people who've been around for 15 years. Arguments from people that are just so ridiculous. There are things in the diaspora that have been lost in Africa. Really? In this day and age, there are things in the diaspora that have been lost in Africa. Or what I'm saying? People are still trying to pull out like some kind of archaic Yoruba that's only spoken in the diaspora that they don't speak. And come on, man. Come on. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, number one. But number two, it's not necessary because we have access to all the information. If we were putting our minds together, okay, then we could define in short periods of time all the discrepancies and all the consistencies between any one of these branches of the tradition. It wouldn't take any time at all, right? If we had a visionary goal for our spiritual journey, but we don't have that. So without a goal, what happens? Without a goal, people go for self. And that's all they go for, right? Without a goal, they think, well, this is what I'm going to, I'm going to stick to the Cuban thing. I'm going to stick to the Nigerian thing. I'm going to stick to the Brazilian thing. I'm even smaller than that. I'm just sticking to my house. And even smaller than that, I'm just gonna stick to me. This is what I want. This is what I need. Right? And it's natural. It's natural. And a visionary goal doesn't erase what I need for myself. It doesn't erase my own personal aspiration or my own personal ambition. It doesn't minimize the importance of what I want to do for my house. It doesn't take away from what I want to do for my community, right? It doesn't. The only thing that happens when you have a very clearly defined visionary goal is that your personal and, religious and communal and even national goals are now contextualized by something else. You can see how by me achieving my personal goal, it supports this bigger goal that may be more far reaching. Okay. And so we have, for example, Baba Wande Abimbola set out what is arguably the greatest, visionary goal for us. He put together a template by having our tradition recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site or a World Heritage Tradition, right? It's not the best thing that we can do, but it does put things into a proper perspective to say, oh, this is what's possible though. This is how the level at which we can exist. We can go and we can sit down with the Dalai Lama and the Pope and, these other recognized luminaries in the spiritual world, and we can sit down and we can show how we're ready to make a meaningful contribution to the global conversation, right? So he put that in place, but since then, there just hasn't been any follow through from our community to create a visionary goal that encompasses and enlivens and animates all of the respective traditions and gives them a real focal point. So I want to urge you as a younger person coming into the tradition. I don't care if you're already 50 years old. I mean, if you've been in this tradition less than 5 years, I want you to bypass all the identity politics. I want you to let all that stuff go. No arguing and squabbling over, this tradition or that tradition. Forget all of that. Set a visionary goal for your spiritual journey and create a plan for that goal. Okay? And when I say a visionary goal, I mean that by the year 2030, I want to, I want my contribution to the tradition to be demonstrating how we are uniquely qualified to cure cancer. We're going to eradicate poverty in a certain favela in Brazil using the principles of ehve. That's what I'm talking about as a visionary goal for your tradition. By the year 2025, we are going to clean up all the rivers in the state of Georgia using the principles of Oshun. That's a visionary goal. That's what I'm talking about. That's the only thing that matters to you. Nothing else is important, okay? Because the conflicts and all these things that people have been having since 1999, the failures of the previous generation to provide these kinds of visionary goal do not have to be your legacy going forward. Okay? Not to, dump on whoever came before me or before us, but to say that limitation is real, but it need not be your limitation. Okay? It need not be your limitation. So I know within the School of Orisa Studies and within the Orisa Lifestyle Academy overall, our guiding principle comes from the Holy Odu of Irosun Iwori, where we learned that Olodumare gave all of us the mandate to help bring about the good condition. And the Odu goes on to define the good condition as basically an absence of spiritual menaces as well as earthly menaces. It eliminates the threat of spiritual negativity as well as earthly desperation. It defines our methodology and our approach to bringing about the good condition by saying it's through wisdom that will help us to govern the world well, through altruism and the commitment to serving the less privileged than ourselves. Okay? And giving us the commitment to say that until you are able to bring about the good condition for all humanity, you must continue to be reborn over and over and over and over again until you as humanity can fulfill that mission to make earth as beautiful and as perfect as heaven. Okay? And so we're committed to that in all of the classes, all of the books, all of the videos, all of the services that I provide through the Orisa Lifestyle Academy and in the School of Orisa Studies are dedicated to helping to activate you. Because I know that if Olodumare has mandated that we're here to bring about the good condition, when your Ori chose destiny in the prenatal state, you had to have been ready to make a contribution to that noble and admirable divine cause. You're here because you knew what Olodumare was commanding and you felt ready to make some sort of a meaning contribution to that very important and essential goal to the human experience. So everything I'm doing is to help you remember and activate that ancestral memory, put you into place, get you the skills that you need, the focus that you need, and find the population that you can serve and help bring about the good condition for yourself and that group of people. So please check out the School of Orisa Studies, check out the Orisa Lifestyle Academy, and let's start living the medicine that will heal your life and heal the lives of those who you're destined to serve. Aboro aboye, aboshishe.